Welcome to my channel, Ken here. Today let's take a look at the Fostex T50RP Mark IV. Let's go! Even though Fostex shipped these to me, the thoughts and opinions are mine and mine alone. Hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. So this is the Mark IV version of their T50 headphones. So they have completely redesigned what they call the RP Planar magnetic driver. Basically, they're very light, these headphones, at about 300 grams. They have a sensitivity of 97 dB per milliwatt, and they have a impedance of 28 ohms. So a little bit low. They call their technology for method planar design, method planar diaphragm. And these headphones are semi-open, so they're not fully open, but they do have opening here. A circumaural, and they fit very nicely. I also think they do block out some sound from the ambient surroundings, and that's nice. So either way, you can plug in the cable here on either side. I chose left because that seems to be the norm. So the way the headband works is it's just a bar across that's padded, and it has these little sleds on the side here that move, I think, a little bit too easily. But once they're on your head, they're pretty secure and they fit well and they don't move. I tried it on a bunch of different headphone amps. I tried it on the Chord Alto, the Benchmark HPA4, the Ferrum Or, the Austrian audio score. I tried it on the Lynx Aurora N audio interface, and an iPad and an iPhone, and everything drove it just fine. There was no issues whatsoever with any of these. The plug itself is with an adapter like this, with a mini 8 to 1/4 inch. I didn't get any other cables with it. I know they make some 4-pin connectors as well as a 4-pin mini 8. But I just tested it with a regular 1/4 inch the whole time, except for the iPad and iPhone where I used the mini 8. So these headphones, they are relatively affordable at under $300, and I can see how they can get to that price point because they do feel a little bit plasticky to me, but they are very comfortable and they are very lightweight, and they sound like a planar. But I'll get into that a little more. Because they're comfortable and they sit well in the head, you can have long listening sessions with this without problem. They can also play very loud, and they are relatively efficient, so it's pretty easy to drive them with almost anything. Now, I have to say right off the bat here that as far as the quality of these, they do respond to better and better amplification, and they do showcase the differences even with the best amplification that I have available in my studio. So, for example, the Chord Alto doesn't sound like the Benchmark, and the Benchmark doesn't sound like the Ferrum, and those are all very high-end headphone amplifiers. And it does show the difference, which is the good news about these, as they should for good headphones. And make no mistake, these are very, very good headphones. They punch well above its weight class. But as with any headphones, there are some issues, and I'll try and describe these to you to the best of my ability, because when you make a decision about, in the studio especially, when you have to listen to a monitor, what's the best kind of monitor? And sometimes I think that the brutally honest ones and the flattest ones are the best ones to use in the studio, even though they might not be the most musically flattering headphones. What these are Definitely sounding like Planar magnetic headphones. They are dynamic and punchy. They do have good separation. They're nice, wide sounding. They're very comfortable and with very good dynamics come very good rhythmic drive. And I think they sound like Planar. They're best what Planar magnetics have to offer, and they have a really good bass too. However, my biggest problem with these headphones is there has a huge dip in the upper mid-range, like 3.8K, 4K around there. And it does make them sound very dark sounding. There's a huge dip right there. So I did, as you can see here, I did EQ them. And I also had to lift the bass because the sub bass was a little bit underwhelming. So because of the Planar magnetic design, I also think they have good foreground to background separation. So vocals, they sit nicely out front in the mix without sounding isolated. But in the background, you can clearly hear what's going on, the subtle nuances that you can hear from, let's say, guitars or drums or in an orchestra, little ruffling, little movements on chairs. That's all good here. And the left to right separation is very clear, that you can hear perfectly where things are panned or where they sit in relation to other things. They are very ragged in the upper mids and in the lower treble to me. And there's some coloration there that, considering their price point, I think they're very good in that respect. But compared to 10 times more costly headphones like the LCD5 something, it becomes pretty noticeable that there are some colorations in the upper mids and the lower treble. Manifesting itself is like a little bit of smearing of guitars, or there's a slight change in sound. You know, a microphone won't sound as pristine in that range. But again, considering its price point, it's very good. Now I also compared it to the MM100 by Odyssey, which is about 120, 130 bucks more expensive, which is also Planars. And these are darker for sure. And these are kind of dark headphones without EQ. The MM100s are more mid-focused in the mid-range and less ragged in the upper mids and lower treble. But they do compare well to them because there's definitely a similar kind of feel to it, especially in the dynamics. The other thing, I thought that the break-in time of these were pretty long. They took several days to break in properly. When I first listened to them, everything that I described earlier was exaggerated, meaning that it was even darker sounding, had less upper air, less detail in the upper mids. And I have to say this to all you headphone manufacturers once and for all. Why can't you label left and right clearly on these headphones? I don't understand that. Now this dip at 4K and this lightly rolled off bass, even though the bass is very high quality, I don't know how many people would actually bother EQing these, but it is worth your time actually just lifting that 4K range, 3.8 range, and lifting it, and lifting the lower bass 60 hertz down. So I think that's very important. All in all, I think these are very good headphones, punching well above their weight class. They don't have a huge amount of competition in this price range as far as I'm concerned. Definitely got to go up to $400 before they get any competition. And even then, you know, it's a matter of taste. But I think they're very good, and I do recommend them. But you got to be careful with that huge dip at 4K. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, take care.